on everybody, welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today, and today we have massive unboxing number 47 for you all. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video, as today we have the haul from the Chicago one-day show from spring 2024. We have so many cool models here to dive into, from new releases and a couple of gems in there as well, so I really hope each and every one of you are excited for this, and without any further delay, let's go ahead and dive into our first model, everybody. Alrighty everybody, welcome to Massive Unboxing 47. Again, we have some really cool models here to take a look at today, and I'm super excited for this. So first and foremost, we'll go ahead and knock out the aircraft that are not new releases, and then I have a handful of new GeminiJets releases that I'm excited to take a look at. So here we go for our first model. I think the majority of these are by GeminiJets today. We'll start with this first one. This is going to be the GeminiJets 1:400 scale JetBlue Airways Airbus A320 with the Harlequin tails. So this is super exciting to see right here. I ended up getting this model for $25, which I think is just a fantastic deal, to be quite honest. Sorry about that everybody, wanted to make sure the microphone was working, but nevertheless, $25 for this. I thought that was a superior deal here, and I'm super excited to have this, and I've always dreamt of having the Harlequin tail, so for $25, can't pass it up, and a testament to why these airline collectible shows are so fantastic. So let's go ahead and get started. So that was the 35 sticker, offered 25 and got it. Limited edition collectible 2 in a series, because of course I think they had some sort of partnership with Gemini Jets for this, that being JetBlue Airways. The background of course is that diamond design, which is the Harlequin tail, and it was called Shades of Blue Airbus A320. And then here's the sides of the box. There was so many good deals, so if I wasn't actually running a table, I would have been happy to get more of them, but I actually split a table with Aviation and did sell off some of my previous aircraft. So this was exclusively distributed by S&L promotional group for JetBlue. You got the website down there in 2002, so hence the very unique box design relative to other GeminiJets models. There's the plastic cradle right there, and there's the actual model right there. So again, we're really excited to have this. I've always dreamt of getting the Harlequin tail. I've passed on it a handful of times, but for $25, just can't pass it up. Even though it's not flying anymore, it's just too good of a tail not to get. And my goodness, guys, look at that beauty right there. There she is, guys. Alrighty everybody, and here we go for the GeminiJets 1:400 scale JetBlue Airways Airbus A320 with the Harlequin tail. This is a super cool model, and I'm very delighted to have it. Simple yet beautiful. Let's go ahead and dive into the details, everybody. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and get started. So here's the cockpit windows right here, along with the nose cone. The original mold A320 was so great, so we'd love to see that. Got a hazard right there, and then of course the Shades of Blue titles right here for the aircraft, so that's really cool to get to see. Got the L1 door with some various details. You got a lever right there, a window, and all the rest of the applicable details. So we'd love to see that, excuse me. There's a nose landing gear, which also looks quite nice. Definitely glad to see the tilt on that, and overall very detailed. Here's the JetBlue Airways billboard titles. Of course, they're the older ones, so you can see how unique the font was there. So definitely cool to get to see that right there. And then you have, I'm not sure exactly what configuration this was, of course, but you might have some first class up here. And then you get the rest of the economy cabin. Now, being a 2002 model, you're only going to have some details. So you can see here we have some various panels right here. So all that looks really nice. And then, of course, that already takes you up to the leading edge of the wing. But I do want to highlight that navy underbelly. And you also have no cheat line on this aircraft. So looking very nice for that right there. You got the emergency exits right there. And then you got the leading edge right there of the wing, which looks quite nice on this one-piece mold. You do have the emergency exits right there, and then really good detail here on the wing for 2002 with the flaps, slats, and speed brakes. That's really great detail there, especially on those slats. There's the JetBlue.com engine, which looks quite nice. IAE 2500s, and of course you got the exhaust right there that also looks really nice. Here's the back of it. You also have really good detail in the main landing gear, also look quite nice, so we'd love to see that. The rest of the fuselage, of course, not too much going on, but you do have the registration November 604 Juliet Bravo, Airbus A320, the L2 door, and really the main reason that we're here is that beautiful Harlequin design. So this is definitely my favorite original JetBlue tail. I also have the Stripes model that I've had for 10 years, but it's really great to finally acquire my favorite one, which is this Harlequin design. There's been a bunch of great deals out there in the past, just was waiting for the right one, and $25 I think is definitely it. Right side of the aircraft also looks very similar, but you do have the 2 baggage doors, and overall all that looks really nice. Top of the aircraft looks really good. You got the beacon and the other applicable details right there. In the bottom looks great. You got the GeminiJets logo there, but it has white on top and gray on bottom, which is quite cool. And you do have a little cheat line right there. I apologize, I couldn't see it because of how thin it is, but you do have a very thin cheat line right there. So this is a super cool model. Also worth noting, the one-piece horizontal stabilizer is pretty cool. This is a super cool one to have. I'm very delighted to have it, and definitely a very quality addition to the collection right here. So overall, this is a really cool aircraft right here. Alrighty everybody, next up we have the Phoenix 1:400 scale Airbus A340-600. This is a super cool aircraft in their Platinum series. I actually got this from a trade with Baja Aviation, so a huge shout out to him. He's absolutely fantastic and it was so great to get to see him this previous weekend at the ORD One Day show. So overall, this is a really cool model. I haven't decided exactly what I want to do with it, but nevertheless, this is still a really cool asset, at least temporarily. So overall, this is a really cool model and glad to hand him off some really cool models, and you'll be seeing them over on his channel. So definitely go check out his channel and his videos, as he does a really good job with all of his content, and glad to do business as always. So here it is, the Airbus A340-600. Definitely not what I was expecting to get, but these collectible shows always have a twist, and that's exactly what you see right here. Airbus A340-600, you have their logo, of course, swooping through the background where you have the CGI right here in front, so that's really awesome. Registration's Foxtrot Whiskey Charlie Alpha, and then of course we got the sides of the box, which really shows its Phoenix aircraft, along with a few more CGIs and whatnot, so that's awesome. See, back of the aircraft looks really nice, the heart of aviation, Airbus A340-600. So yeah, relatively simple box, but this is going to be a really cool aircraft. Again, a very unique one at that. So let's just go ahead and take a look at that. Rather cool. Definitely was not expecting to get this, but this is definitely going to be a cool addition here in the collection. Actually, I think we have two plastic pieces, is that right? Or some sort of a weird deal here. As you can see, that's really interesting. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and take a look at the 340 here. That is super detailed. Wow, I didn't even think it was going to have rolling landing gear. Let's take a look at this, guys. Alrighty everybody, and here it is, the 1:400 Airbus A340-600 by Phoenix. Super cool model right here, a very unique one at that, so super excited to have this. Let's go ahead and dive into its details. Alrighty guys, now I believe this is my first A340 from Phoenix, so again, this is a really cool one to have, so let's go ahead and take a look at its details. So here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone that look really nice, pitot tubes, and then you got the Airbus A340 logo right there. Then you have the L1 door with the panel and lever and window, so very cool to see that right there. Nose landing gear, love the silver trim as we've talked about in so many reviews and unboxings, so that's super cool to get the feature here. Nose landing gear door, and then of course you got the start of the windows right here. Very basic livery, so of course you have a mid-tone blue Airbus there, bolded and full capitals, and then of course you got A340-600 in a smaller size font, and of course you have the bold there still, but you do have the navy this time, so that looks really nice. You do have some sort of SATCOM box or whatever this particularly is, so that's really nice. This aircraft's probably at least 10 or 15 years old. I don't see any antennas on it, so definitely interesting to note that, but you do have a red window right there, so that's pretty interesting, and a few more panel details down here as well. Proceeding through the rest of the aircraft, like I said previously, it does have rolling landing gear, which is a big plus that is super cool to get to exhibit on this aircraft. So you do see we have the L2 door right here and a couple of gaps for the galleys and whatnot, so glad to see that right there. And then that really takes us into the wing root, which is really nice. So this was a two-piece mold, and as you can tell, they did a really good job integrating that right there. There's the engines right there. I believe these are the Rolls-Royce engines, and they look quite nice, as you can see with the various details that those exhibit, from the exhaust to the lines, and of course even the Rolls-Royce logo. So I appreciate that being there so I could easily identify it. You can also see the fan blades right there, which also look quite nice, so definitely really happy to see that. No leading edge light, which is kind of surprising, but we do not have an emergency exit wing, emergency exit pad over the wings. So that really shows you how old this particular aircraft is. I'm trying to get it out of the shade, so I apologize. But anyway, looking really nice right there regardless. You can see all the various details. So it looks really good there for the flap slots and speed brakes. Another good look at those engines. They look quite nice. There's the winglet, which looks really good there on the inside and the outside. Same color for both. Then looking at from behind, you can see the main landing gear that look really nice. Of course, on the A340-600, you have the 8 tires or four. I'm not exactly sure. I'm trying to think here. Sorry, it's 4 tires with 2 sets each on all those. So that's really cool to see. Several tires there. I think it's 8 times 3, 24 tires. No, that's got to be wrong. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12. That's it. That's better. So looking very nice for that right there. At the L4 door right there, so definitely glad to see that. Looks like we run into another galley back there. Before we get to that registration once again, which is Foxtrot Whiskey Charlie Alpha, and then of course the navy blue finally starts to get some sort of color, and you got the Airbus A340 on the tail. Really cool logo there on the top, very iconic from Microsoft Flight Simulator and other such programs. So cool to see that, or Flight Simulator X rather. You got the horizontal stabilizers, APU, all the additional details. So this is super cool to see, and definitely glad to get the feature here today. Right side's very similar, but we do have the cargo door right there in the front, and another one in the back. With the top of the aircraft looking really good, we do have a beacon up there, which is really cool. No emergency exit pad, which is pretty surprising, but good color there on the wings. And the bottom also looks really good. We do exhibit a Phoenix stand hole and logo, which is nice on this aircraft. A couple of additional details. Maybe this was the leading edge light. Maybe it's down there at 340. I'm not sure, but that's a cool detail. And then also the baggage door right here. So super cool model. Definitely not one that I expected, but a huge shout out to Baha once again. And definitely go check out, or Baha. I apologize, I'm botching the pronunciation of it, but hopefully everybody knows who I'm talking about. So cool to see this aircraft. This is awesome, and definitely super glad to have this in the fleet right here. Very unique model, and thank you to him once again, and check out his channel. Alrighty everybody, next up we have an Aero Classics, the only one in the video, and a very special one at that. Here we have the Aero Classics 1:400 scale North Central Airlines doubles DC-930s. So if you all don't know, JJ Skippy is a huge fan of North Central Airlines. He already has 4 of the 8 that have been done in 1:400 scale. North Central is really cool, and I'd love to add them to my fleet, but I couldn't help but think about him when I saw this model for that price right there. So I offered $25. The vendor accepted it, which is a phenomenal price for any North Central model. Most of these are really challenging to find, and I know he has ambitions of adding as many Herman the Ducks to his collection as he can. He recently got one of these, but it was a different manufacturer, so I thought it would be nice to gift him this aircraft. So I'll be taking it on his way, but I thought it was only fair to feature North Central here on the channel since we have the opportunity. So you'll be seeing this in one of his future videos very soon. I look super forward to that, but nevertheless, here's my version of it here of the North Central DC-9. Super glad to get this for him. This is going to be an awesome addition to his collection. I look forward to seeing it in his retro FSD projects and beyond. But when I was able to get it for 25, it's just a no-brainer to help the man out. So super glad to take that over his way, and it's going to be a quality addition for his collection, and I guess mine for about a month or so. So anyway, here we go for the North Central DC-9 by Aero Classics. You have the Aero Classics right here, was 30, offered 25, worked well. Here's the aircraft inside, doubles DC-9, 1:400 scale. And here's the sides of the box. This will be my only North Central aircraft for the time being. I hope to get one in the future, but again, I know JJ loves these, and just would feel like highway robbery if I didn't gift this to him. So very excited to get the job done here for him today, especially for such a great price. This is a really cool aircraft. I know he's going to love it, but very glad to at least get to feature it here briefly on my channel. North Central never flew anywhere in the regions that I'm currently trying to do a throwback model airport of, so I will definitely still be looking for one in the future, but I know that he's really going to appreciate this, because I mean, how could you not appreciate that right there? That is super cool. And here it is, everybody, the Aero Classics, a 1:400 scale North Central Airlines doubles DC-930. A really cool livery here with Herman the Duck and all the other applicable traits. This is a super cool model, and super glad to have this for the time being. So let's go ahead and take a look at it, guys. Alrighty everybody, let's go ahead and take a look. So here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone right here, which is really cool. You got the black nose on it as well, so that's certainly quite nice to see. This is probably the last 3 to registration right there, so definitely cool to see that. And then you get the nose landing gear, which is really great on these Aero Classic DC-9s. So still can't believe I got the price I did on this. This is so cool. I can't really tell if that's I think that's a dark purple shade. It might be navy as well. Whatever color it is, it's featured here. And here's the L1 door with the various details, so glad to see that. And then the mid-tone blue that starts, and I believe this is where the ladder is going to come out. And then there's the door once again. North Central, of course, very unique airline in the 1960s, 70s, and before they merged was integrated rather by Republic. So really cool to get to see their titles listed right here, and how unique of a font that is, and how small and thin it is. So pretty cool, very unique. I'm not exactly sure what kind of cabin North Central had, but nevertheless, here's the windows right here, which you can see those along with various great detail under here on the silver underbelly. So you can see some various panels and all the various inspection ones and all of that. So that's really cool to see. So of course, DC-9, a pretty lengthy plane. Or a pretty solid length, I should say, not the lengthiest ever, but you can definitely see some good length there along with the emergency exits. Then you do have an escape pad on this one, so that's awesome to see, along with the beacon. Here's the leading edge of the winglets, looks quite nice. It's some awesome detail along with that beautiful shaded gray there that's represented, so that's great to see. There's the main landing gear as well, and taking a look at the back here, you can see the flaps and speed brake detail, which is solid for Aero Classics, so we love to see that. Main landing gear also look quite nice, so that's awesome to see. They did a really good job on those. Followed by that, you can see the back here where we have that beautiful engine. I think it's some variant of the JT8D, so that's awesome to see. Really cool fan blades as well, so that is super cool. Inspection panel on the bottom right there, and then of course you got the blue that comes all the way back down along with the silver. Registration's November 843 Hotel, I believe, so that's awesome to see. And then Herman the Duck, of course, the identity of North Central Airlines, so super cool to get to see that here on this particular aircraft, and it looks really cool with the very thinned out design. Really fits the billboard titles as well, so that's really cool to feature here, and it looks really great. Horizontal stabilizes all the rest of the detail and the swoop there on the back of the aircraft being the you know, the swoop back here is what I was talking about. The right side's very similar, but you have a smaller R1 door, the 2 baggage doors, and all the rest of the applicable details. Top of the aircraft looks really nice. You got the beacon once again, all the great details. In the bottom, you got the stand hole. It's nice metallics. That's awesome, along with the underbelly details right there for the door and whatnot. This is a super cool model. I'm very excited to get this over to JJ Sway. I know he'll really appreciate this. I hope to get more aircraft like this in the future, but again, if you're selling models at a collectibles show, you can only do so much, and the highest priority was what we're about to see right here. So I'm still very thrilled about it, and overall, all this I still think looks really good, and I definitely think that I did a really good job to actually profit from this collectible show. I actually made money even though I kept buying models, so you can never complain on a day like that as a collector that's trying to be the most efficient with his collection as possible. Nevertheless, that takes us on to our next aircraft. We are now into new releases, excluding the last aircraft that will be assessed today. You'll see why that one's last momentarily, but nevertheless, here's our first new release. This is the Delta CRJ 900, the third release now. This is the second of the 2020 era by GeminiJets, so very excited to have this one. I actually, a couple of my original ones from that 2021 release got a little beat up. I'm missing a tire on one, another one has a scratch, so I'm super excited to have this one now, and I'll probably just flip-flop one of them, but this is still great to have now, so I have a fully intact one. Hopefully I don't bust this one. I can't remember if the landing gear, I think the landing gear got messed up on this one. I can't remember for sure, but we're about to find out real quick. So anyway, one's plenty because of course I have that very first release and then a few of those other ones, so nevertheless, still very thrilled to have this, and this will be a great addition. So you have all the typical GeminiJets features. We are celebrating their 25th anniversary this year. Well, the boxes, I should say, but nevertheless, that was last year. Here's the CGI CRJ 900 Delta. So yeah, very excited that they did another one, and only fair considering how popular these aircraft are in the United States. Again, this was a 2024 release for, was it a 2023? No, I thought it was January or February of 24. I'm forgetting what month it was, but this definitely came out recently. So anyway, still super glad to have this. Let's get the pamphlet going there, and let's see what's changed relative to the previous release that we had on this. No aerials or any of that, so it was made with the original one. I think the horizontal stabilizers are better, but I think the landing gear still may be flipped. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how this Delta 900 is looking here for GeminiJets. And yes, it is, the horizontal stabilizers have been fixed on this one, but we still have those landing gear tight there, so I'll have to fix that at a later time. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and look at this model as is. Alrighty everybody, here it is, the GeminiJets 1-400 scale Delta Action CRJ-900, the third release of the normal livery. Super excited to have this. This is a really good looking aircraft, and again, super excited to have a fully good one of the 2020 era. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and take a look. Here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone right here, which is really nice. You got the nose landing gear door along with the actual nose landing gear itself. All of those details look really nice, and I think they did a good job here. The difference between this one and the first release is this is actually both of them are SkyWest releases, what I'm talking about. So this is another SkyWest release. I think the first one's 821, this one's 800. So unfortunate not to get Endeavor there, but hey, it's still great to get SkyWest here. Here's the Sky Team logo, excuse me. L1 door, and then you got the Delta Action titles, so you can see how nicely placed those are, and overall they look really nice. Got a little bit of first class here in the front before you get into Comfort Plus, and then of course the main cabin. There's the baggage doors. You have two of them here on the CRJ 900. Also worth noting the various line detail here under the door, and all the other various details going on, so all this looks really nice. Moving into the middle of the aircraft, you got that hazard there on the top, which is quite nice there for the fuselage. And then you do have the leading edge of the wing there. I'm not seeing any lights, but still looks pretty good. Slat details solid. You got the two emergency wing exits, and you got the pad for them too. Love the detail on the top of the wing here for CRJ 900. One of the best parts of this mold, hands down rather. So definitely looks really great, and also definitely note that flap and the aileron detail. That's also great. The winglet looks really good. They do a really good job on the curvature on this mold, so that's awesome to see. And the bottom of the wing also looks quite nice. We'll get a better look shortly. Rest of the fuselage is pretty blank. You're not going to see any additional details besides that little one right there. And then you got the registration November 800 Sierra Kilo and the US flag there as well. You got the engines, which look maybe a little big, but not too bad. Certainly very acceptable, and definitely glad to feature that right there. Got the baggage door here as well, and then you get into the back with the APU, the other various details, even a back stuffer piece, which is quite nice, and the unique pieces right here for the CRJ. And then you get the Delta tail, which looks really nice. Definitely glad to see this, and it looks quite great. And yes, finally one with normal horizontal stabilizers. That looks quite wonderful. So very thrilled about that, and won't have to spend time replacing those again because those are actually put in correctly. So that's fantastic. Unfortunate that the landing gear aren't, but the landing gear are a much easier and less noticeable fix relative to the horizontal stabilizers. The right side's also very good. You got the R1 door there, which looks really solid, nice and small, so glad to see that. SkyWest logo still looks really great, and then the other no baggage doors over here, of course, but you do have the various detail back there for the panel and all that fun detail. Top of the aircraft looks really nice. They did a great job on those wings once again. Overall, that all turned out really great. Bottom of the aircraft's also great. Again, those landing gear definitely need a little bit of work, so I'll definitely pull those out and flip them and put them over that first line there to fix that up, but still looking really solid. You got the baggage doors and all the other various details. So a very quality re-release here for GeminiJets. I'm super thrilled to have this. I think this will be quite a quality addition, and overall this is going to be absolutely awesome. So definitely super glad to have this right here. Also, I forgot to mention that first model came from Flyman Models, so huge shout out to him. And then the next 4 models come from DG Pilot, including this one. So huge shout out to Donnie. Super excited to get him on for more additional content for Airlines International 2024 and beyond. He is awesome, and super excited to feature him more as well, along with Flyman too. I'm so glad that all the retailers work together. It makes my life easy so that I don't have to pick sides, obviously, and get to work with all of them. So thank you, retailers. We appreciate you very much. So huge shout out to DG right here, and of course, one more time for Flyman. But here we go for DG Pilot here, and a model that I wasn't sure if I was going to get yet or not. But nevertheless, here we have the GeminiJets 1:400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 737-200 in the widget liveries. So I decided to get this aircraft because while, you know, it's not like the highest priority in my collection, between how nice the model looks, seeing it at the Delta Flight Museum, and the value that this model will hold for quite some time, I thought that it was a justifiable purchase. It is a really iconic looking plane. The Delta 75 and their original livery there, I mean, it's super great. And I would love to get some more colors in motion aircraft. That's definitely my favorite livery. I still definitely like the widget though, and definitely glad to get to purchase it here. I think Waffle had a listing for this on the NG model version, so I thought about getting that too for a brief moment. But when I saw this at the collectible show, I thought that this was the right place and the right time. And I got a good discount on it as well, so definitely no complaints about it here at all. It's still a really good looking aircraft, and I think that it's definitely a score here for the collection. So super excited to have this. This is a really cool looking aircraft. This is going to be great. So let's go ahead and take a look at this beautiful Widget 75. This also has the 2023 box on it. However, you do have the CGI Boeing 737-200 with the current Delta logo. Very excited for the upcoming VIP one that's coming out. So definitely we'll be getting that too. And we'll probably replace the 2007 release because I try to find the balance of the cool molds, but also not going too above and beyond on having too many duplicates. It does say 2024 in the box this time, however, so that's quite nice to see. And again, Gemini's definitely been cranking out the variety in the modern and classic departments. I know this makes many people happy. And they have more of that coming with the 767-400 mold. They have more classic MD-80s coming out soon with the Reno Air and the Delta Colors of Motion MD-88, or it's a 91 of those two and others, and of course this one right here. So first and foremost, this already looks quite wonderful. I mean, you can't really gripe with how cool that aircraft looks right there. That is really nice. So I'm excited to take a look at this and see what this beautiful airliner is all about. Alrighty everybody, here we go for the GeminiJets 1:400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 737-200 in the widget livery. Really cool looking aircraft right here. I love the livery. It's a really nice mesh. I do have a handful of widget aircraft, but this one was definitely worth making an exception for, especially since they have one on display there at the Delta Flight Museum, and every time I get to go there, I get to see it. So tough one to pass up on. This is a really cool aircraft and a great way to represent Delta's history. Let's just go ahead and dive into this one, guys. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and get started. So here's the cockpit windows along with that kind of visor piece. It's a really solid nose design here, one of the better GeminiJets molds for sure. Cockpit windows, and then of course you have the underbelly gray that starts right there, and then of course you got some cheat lines with the red one right there in the navy, which goes right into the widget, which is at quite an angle there, so very unique to Delta, so very cool to see that. Here's the L1 door, and of course you got the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door, so there's the last three of the registration, and then of course you got the numbers of the registration in this case, and then of course you got the nose landing gear itself, which is a little thick, but overall very unnoticeable. It looks really good from a glance. Here's the Delta Airlines titles right here, Delta Airlines, but in this case it's italicized, so it looks quite nice. I'm sure they had some first class up there, so that was what you're going to find up there, and then their premium cabin for the main cabin. there is the antenna, which looks really good. It actually fits this model quite well, so definitely glad to get to report on that. And you have the L2 door there, which also looks quite nice. And you got some various galleys and other pieces here kind of going between the lines, why there's a couple missing windows in there. There's the beautiful Pratt engines. They look really nice. You got the Delta italicized logo there again, which is very unique, so cool to see that. The exhaust and pylon also look good, excuse me. There's the engine and the fan blades as well. All that looks really nice, so definitely glad to get the feature of that. Along with the wings, they look really good with the flaps, slats, and speed brakes. You also got the emergency exit doors, 2 of them in this case, Gen 2 aircraft, and then you got the pad right there, which also looks quite nice, so definitely really glad to get to see that right there as well. Then you got the rest of the windows right here. That cheat line continues with the red and the navy all the way down, and of course you got that silver down there as well. And then you get to the registration, November 607 Delta Lima, an italicized US flag. There's the L3 door in this case, and I think it says Boeing 757 there at the end of the cheat line, and that tail really just speaks for itself. I think that's the best part of the livery for sure, with how the Delta titles are centered there, and the widget really looks good on the tail right there. Top of it also has the registration. Beautiful livery. You got the APU, the chrome continues all the way through, and all that looks really nice. Right side of the aircraft's just as good, but you got a baggage door right there, along with some additional details there, so cool to see that. In the baggage door back here as well. Top of the aircraft looks really nice. They did a good job. Oh, that is not exactly what I was going for there, so I apologize. I kind of popped that out of place, but I mean, most of these horizontal stabilizers should be sturdy enough to hold them right there, and I had some on the fuselage, so I'll take partial blame for that, but that just shows you kind of the glue there. So anyway, nevertheless, I'll get that fixed up shortly. But anyway, you can see how that looks, and you got some other various details there too, so that looks really nice. In the bottom of the aircraft's really good. You got the polish down there, the GeminiJets logo. Love the main landing gear doors and nose landing gear too. All that looks really nice, and the detail is phenomenal. So this is a really cool model. Definitely not one that you know, I was really kind of wondering if it was the retro I wanted to pick up here, but in this case I think it's tough to beat the value of it, and overall it looks really great. So I'll get that horizontal stabilizer fixed up shortly, but nevertheless looking very good on this aircraft. Alrighty everybody, next up we have the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 Nevada 1 delivery. So definitely I wasn't expecting to get this one, but NG surprisingly hasn't done it yet, so Gemini's going to get my business in this case. I'll be happy to get the NG when it comes out, but you know, NG obviously, while they've done some really great work lately, they've also been kind of questionable in some areas with their release choices and whatnot, so it's going to be up to them. But nevertheless, Gemini gets the business for now, and I haven't got one of their Southwest planes in quite some time, so this will be a cool one to add to the collection. Got the GeminiJets logo, another 25th anniversary one. There's the CGI Southwest 737-800. The boxes have not changed since the last time we took a look at one of these with regards to the unique box designs that they have for Southwest in partnership there. So you can see the back as real as it gets. 2024 it says on the box, despite the anniversary logo there. So no pamphlet to take a look at. We're right into the model here with Nevada 1 on the 737-800, which I'm super excited to have. This is my first time having a Nevada 1 here in my collection, and this will be a great rotational piece for my airports. So looking good on the QC check, which is great. Let's go ahead and dive into it, which it honestly looks pretty solid. Alrighty everybody, and here we go for the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the Nevada 1 livery. Overall, a really solid effort. Certainly very glad to have this one in the collection, and it's looking really nice. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and dive into it, guys. Alrighty guys, so here we go for Nevada 1. So here's the cockpit windows along with the various nose cone pieces right here. I think it needs to be zoomed out just a little bit more for prime focus. There we go. Nevada 1 titles in the SATCOM dome here and all of those various pieces. Nose landing gear door, of course a little big as we've talked about plenty of times in the past, but certainly not terrible in this particular case. Here's the L1 door with the lever window and all the various pieces. You got the Southwest heart right here, and then of course very unique flag here for Nevada with the navy blue background. They exhibit these flowers right here, so definitely cool to see that. They're kind of like dandelions. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but they look quite nice. And then you got Nevada right here with the star, and then one of the most unique parts of this livery is definitely the Battleborn titles right here, so this is super cool to see swinging on down. I never caught the 700 unfortunately, or got a really poor picture one or the other, and I have seen the 800 a few times already, which is awesome. I don't think I've got the greatest shot in the world, but definitely a suitable one, so great to see that. I actually saw this aircraft go around at Atlanta, which is awesome. You can see how the engine lines up there for the CFM56. I believe this is the -7 variant. It's cool to see that, or the 5, one of those two. There's the emergency exit there with the doors and the pad, which still looked really nice right there, so I'm glad to get to see that. You also have the wing, which is really nicely detailed there on the flap slats, speed brakes. So solid effort there from GeminiJets. Skimitars do look really good too. They're just a touch big, but definitely not bad relative to other offerings we've seen. And then of course you have the rest of the fuselage right there. You got the Wi-Fi box, which is quite nice. 2 more antennas, and you got the registration November 8646 Bravo. And you got the L2 door along with the Southwest tail, which you can definitely see the blue difference there along with the red and yellow. That look quite nice. Horizontal stabilized APU. These are plastic as expected, but they're not too bad. So glad to see that they're definitely doable in this case. Right side doesn't look quite as friendly, but still solid, and you got all the additional details in the rest of it. Top of the aircraft definitely looks really good right there with the various details and whatnot. Again, Wi-Fi box looks really good. In the bottom, you got the GeminiJets logo. The leaf pieces going underneath there are really cool, and you also got the stand hole as well. So overall, this is a really good aircraft. GeminiJets did a really good job here. Definitely glad to have it, and this will definitely be suitable until NG does it. So definitely glad to have this and hope that NG will do it. But Gemini definitely got my business first, so a huge shout out to them. I do think GeminiJets going to do a little bit better with these next 2 aircraft, and here's the first one. It is the GeminiJets 1:400 scale American Airlines Airbus A321 in the Piedmont livery. Another one that NG I thought would have a chance to do, since sometimes they jump on popular aircraft, but they did not in this case. And GeminiJets has already done 3 of the 4 American A321 heritage liveries. So how exciting is this? This is absolutely awesome to see. I also should designate 3 of 5 because there is the US Airways one, but 3 of the 4 new ones. So this is super exciting to have. I think they're going to do a really good job here, and I'm excited to see this model. So without any further delay, let's just go ahead and jump into it. So you got the GeminiJets logo here, made for collectors by collectors. Here's all the portions of the box. It looks really nice. Again, super excited to have the new one here. I don't think I'm going to sell the A319s because they are pretty special aircraft, and I've seen all of them a handful of times, minus Allegheny. But nevertheless, this is great to see. There's the top, and then we got the inside pamphlet there with the actual model itself. So these are really solid models, and these will definitely hold really well until NG does them, if they do. But I'm still happy to have them if these are the permanent option. But here it is, the American A321 in the Piedmont livery. And don't get me wrong, the Aero Classic ones are good, but with the IAE engines, I think these are definitely suitable. So these are really good here from GeminiJets. So let's take a look. Alrighty everybody, here we go for the GeminiJets 1:400 scale American Airlines Airbus A321 in the Piedmont livery. Excluding the nose, this looks really nice, and I'm certainly super glad to have this in the collection today. It honestly looks even better as a model than it does as an actual airplane, so this is really cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at this, guys. Alrighty everybody, here we go. So first and foremost, we can get the bad part out of the way here with the nose, which is not the prettiest, especially with the uneven lines here, but I can definitely live with it once we get to the rest of it, so that's exciting. Cockpit windows, and you got another panel here. I think it says Piedmont somewhere around here, not exactly sure, but that looks really nice. The A321 logo right here, and you got the L1 door, which looks quite nice. The One World logo, and you got the first antenna. And really after this part's really where it gets good. Nose landing gear door, and then you got the various panels right here. And then you got the American Airlines billboard titles, pretty small in 321, but they look really nice. Here's the first class area before we get to the L2 door. A little bit of main cabin etched there, and then that takes us into the main cabin right there. You got the line right here as well, and then you got the beautiful IAE engines, which look really nice in this aircraft. Definitely one of the best parts of this mold. They're nice and level too, which I really appreciate. The exhaust also looks great, so really great job here by GeminiJets. Nice and proportional, and definitely really saves this model and why I picked this one over the Aero Classics. Really good job on the rest of the printing as well. This is really good detail here. Main landing gear also look really good, and then you got the top of the wing with the flap slot speed brakes, which is really top tier. They do a really good job here on the indentations and whatnot, so a huge shout out to GeminiJets for really doing a good job there. So minus the nose, we're really in good shape. L3 door looks really great, and then you got the next antenna there before you get to the Wi-Fi box and the last antenna. And again, you just got a gray underbelly and then 2 white pieces there with the blue cheat lines, so it looks really nice here on the Piedmont livery. There's the registration. It's November 581 uniform whiskey on this aircraft. I believe it's the first one of the sequence. Actually, Allegheny might be 580, but they're all around that range. Then you got the L4 door and the beautiful Piedmont logo, and they did transpire the A321 as they did put all the aircraft types on their tails, so really great feature and glad to see that. But the Piedmont logo is really cool with that. I think it's a bird, I'm not exactly sure, but it looks quite nice. Love the various colors and looks really good. APU, horizontal stabilized, all the additional detail, all that looks really nice, and definitely glad to see how good of a job they did. This side admittingly looks much better. If I'm going to look at the nose, I'm going to look at the right, because again, let's try that one more time. The left, not the prettiest, but the right is really doable. So I can live with the right. That's a little bit better. So glad to see that, along with the the baggage doors right there, which look quite nice. IEs look really good. Really no more complaints to have with the rest of this aircraft. Top looks really good, so definitely glad to get to feature that right here. That's awesome. And the bottom also looks really good. You got the various panels down here, GeminiJets logo, stand hole, all the rest of the detail. This is solid. This is really good. I'm very hopeful that PSA will transpire, because PSA and America West are my favorite ones, as we wait on Allegheny to come in too. So I'll have to get that as well. But nevertheless, we're going to do the same coat right there. However, this time it's going to be on the PSA liveries. So very similar story. Again, it would be nice to sell the 319s for the money aspect, but I think I can justify keeping them with how many cool memories I have. So yeah, this aircraft is looking very nice with the box there as well. So definitely glad to get to see all that. Looking very good right there. Back of the box is also really nice. 2024 release. You got the PSA copyright there too. There is the pamphlet on this aircraft, and there is PSA, which is looking as good as ever. So really excited to see how this aircraft turned out, and this is going to be a talent show. So let's go ahead and get started. And again, huge shout out to DG Pilot for hooking me up with these, and super glad to get them here. And I think these are looking just as good. Take a look at that and the smiley, guys. And here it is, everybody, the GeminiJets 1:400 scale American Airlines Airbus A321 in the PSA livery. Really good look here, especially on that left side there in the nose. That's really, really solid. So very happy about this. This is great. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and take a look. So here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone, which is honestly solid here. Got the smiley here on the PSA, one of the best parts of the livery. Got a panel right there, Airbus A321 in black this time. And then PSA had the gray in their belly. Then you got the red and then the orange. Here's the L1 door with the one logo. And then you got the antenna right here. That looks quite nice. Got a panel right here along with the nose landing gear door. And then it gets just really solid after this with the American Airlines logo, which is really good right there. You got the line right here. Couple more inspection panels. You got your first class main cabin extra onto the L2 door, which is quite nice. You got the rest of the windows right there, which are really good. Another beautiful IAE engine. They did a really good job on this one as well. Same color as well, so definitely cool to see that. So definitely a really good job on this one right here. Same song for the wings. They look really good. I love the orange tip right there as well. That's really nice. So all this detail is really good, and definitely glad to get to feature that. There's the L3 door right there, which looks quite nice. You got some good detail on the bottom right there too. Another antenna, Wi-Fi box in the next one. This is the sister ship to Piedmont. This is November 582 Whiskey Uniform. Uniform Whiskey, got it backwards. And then you got the L4 door and the beautiful PSA titles right there. It looks really good. I love the orange and red combination. That's super nice. So overall, really good job there by the one and only why can I not think of their name? GeminiJets, and they did a really good job. Baggage door down there is really good. You got the various panels right there. All that detail looks really great, so definitely glad to get to see that. And you got the one back here and another small door right there too, and all the other various detail that's really solid, and the color is really good on this aircraft, so definitely glad to get to feature that. Top of the aircraft looks really good. Definitely super glad they did a good job on that. Same stock second first for the bottom. It looks really good with the panels and all the various detail right there. So all this is looking really good, but we do have a grand finale, so let's go ahead and take a look at that aircraft. Alrighty, everybody, so I kind of ran out of light there, so I apologize, but nevertheless, here we have the Southwest Airlines 737 MAX 8 in 1:200 scale. This will have its full unboxing video, so definitely check that out when it comes out for the really nice full in-depth analysis. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into this, because of course this is still a part of the video, so super excited about this, and this is a really cool aircraft. So let me go ahead and explain so you all are caught up to speed. So this comes from Steve from Grayland Station. Of course, he is the owner of that store and also the organizer of the ORD One Day show, so I want to give a huge shout out to him. But nevertheless, I was looking around his area towards the end of the show and found this. Now, I was really appealed for one major reason, and that's because of what this says right here. It says reduced for $48, and I was like, okay, well, what could it be reduced for? So I'm actually going to do this a little bit differently. So what I'm going to do is take it out and kind of show you how I was looking at it, and then see if you all noticed why it's reduced. So super excited for this. Let's just go ahead and get into it. It did come with a stand. I already put that together because the unboxing was actually filmed prior. And I did put the landing gear on too, which the even though they're magnetic, they still came off in the box. So let me go ahead and put that back in here real quick. Let's get that on there right here. There we go. Okay, so now we have the model out. What I'm going to do is put this back in the box here, and I'm going to see if you all can notice what's going on with this aircraft. Okay, the lighting is absolutely terrible. I'm going to have to turn on my LEDs. I really hate to do that for a mass unboxing, but that's the only choice. Just a second, guys. Alrighty, guys, so here it is with the landing gear and all that. So I started looking around, and I was trying to figure out, okay, why is this model discounted? So I looked around at once, you know, real briefly, and I was like, well, it looks perfect to me, so what's going on here?
So then I took a second look closer and looked at it a little bit slower. And I was also looking with TOL Aviator at the time, and he couldn't figure out why. So I continued to look around here, and I'm like, okay, what's the deal? So then I took a really slow third look around, just like you're seeing right here. And I still can't figure out what the deal is here. So I'm just like, what the heck? So I keep looking around, and then finally TOL Aviator notices it. And can you see it from this angle? Well, I'll show you if you can't, because I didn't notice it either. It is the crack right here in the engine. At some point that broke throughout the process and got it all the way down, reduced to $48, which I was just like, man, that's amazing. And since it was at the end of the show, he was nice enough to give me a $5 discount on top of that. So for $43, I got the Southwest 737 MAX 8, which this is the third release by GeminiJets, and it's also quite hard to find in general. So I was super thrilled about this, and I talk about this more in the unboxing, so definitely check it out. But I really have wanted to get a normal Southwest Airlines aircraft. I know I got Freedom one last year, which is still super great from the ORD show, ironically enough. So my 1 to 200 Southwest look at these ORD shows is really going well. But I still wanted to get at least one, what's the word I'm looking for here? One standard livery, a Heart 700 or one of those. But this is the one. And considering the situation with these right now, and also flying several of these, I'm certainly very thrilled to have it in the collection. And this will prove quite powerful, to say the least. So let me make sure that we get it in full light here. Again, I apologize that we're a little bit later in the day and it kind of got messed up there. I actually recorded 2 Tulsa updates today and got this massive unboxing done, so no complaints. Hopefully it's still sufficient, but again, hopefully this is a good reason why the unboxing video will be very good. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and take a look at it, guys. First, 737 MAX 8 we're reviewing on the channel as well, which is awesome here in 1-200, so you can see the cockpit windows, only with the various nose cone pieces here. Got the pitot tube, the inspection panels, and all the rest of it, so definitely glad to see that right there. There's the nose landing gear door, 8730 is the prefix, so glad to see that. Nose landing gear as well, which looks quite nice, and again, it's magnetic, so this one kind of got messed up, and I think it was when I put it back in the box. I apologize, but nevertheless, just pretend that that's attached. Sorry that it's just not wanting to work, but pretend that this is attached, which is how it's supposed to be, kind of latched on there like so, and then you put it in there, and then sorry that I kind of got messed up. This is not exactly how you can see in the when the first time I did the unboxing, it wasn't like this, so I might hate to have to pause this on you all, but might have to get this fixed. Let me see if I can get it here. But nevertheless, what's supposed to happen is this piece is supposed to go inside here, and then it attaches just like so. But let me get it fixed real quick, and then I'll put this back on. Sorry about that, everybody, but nevertheless, you can see that they're magnetic, so that's really cool, and definitely super glad to get to exhibit that characteristic right there. There's the L1 door with the window and the lever as well, so certainly glad to see that, along with the heart logo. And then you got the beautiful Southwest Airlines billboard titles, very nice and proportional, so certainly glad to get to exhibit that. All economy on Southwest, so no first class up there in the front. And you got the panel up there too, and we'll take a look at some more panel detail here in a moment on top and bottom. Get the first antenna down there on the bottom, and then you got the beautiful LEV engines. That was exactly not what I was going for right there, so let me try to get this a little bit more carefully here. Apologies about that, but nevertheless, you can see the beautiful LEV engine right there, which looks quite nice, so definitely glad to get to see that right there. They did a really good job on the detail there, so that's certainly very nice, so well done by them. Again, it just has that little line crack right there, but again, for half off, absolutely no complaints. That is beyond generous in my opinion. This really should only be 15% or so off for that in my eyes. You got the beacon and the antenna right there, they look really nice, and then the wing detail is phenomenal on the 1-200 MAX. Again, it's one of the Gemini's best mold in both scales. This is no exception to that. You can also tell that the engine's a little bit lower here, but again, pretty tough to notice, so definitely glad to get to see how nice it still looks right there. And just look at how great the detail is. We go into more detail in the unboxing, so I'm kind of just giving you a brief rundown here. But you can tell how great this looks, and overall the antennas and the flaps, slats, speed brakes, the winglets, they all really great. You can also see the magnetic gear there, and that one works correctly, luckily, so that's nice. But again, you got the rest of the windows, the antenna, and then the beautiful SATCOM box, and you can see the outline there too. So that's absolutely awesome. Certainly very glad to get to see that right there. You got the back antenna right there, and then you get the navy here for the rest of the fuselage. Then you got the yellow, and then the red, and then you get the registration November 8730 Quebec. You get the 401 too, so nice one to pair it up with. That's absolutely awesome. At the L2 door, the US flag, and then the tail here, which looks really nice. Great curvature, and then you get the yellow, red, and blue. Pretty tough to beat. That's really nice. Horizontal stabilizers, APU detail, all the rest of it. It's really great, and definitely glad to get to see it right here. Luckily, my winglet did dent that bad, if any. I don't think it dented any, so that's great. So really happy to see that. Here, I'm trying to get a better view of it. Yeah, I maybe just a little bit there from that little fall, but nobody will notice. I'm the only one that did because I know I mentioned it. But anyway, here we go for the right side of the aircraft where you got the baggage door right there, which looks really nice. So definitely super glad to get to see that right there. Horizontal stabilizer, or sorry, the pitot tubes. And get back to here to the horizontal stabilizers on this side, and you got the baggage doors here too, and all that looks really nice. So definitely glad to see that. Top of the aircraft looks really good. Wing details phenomenal, and you can see all the various details. So you definitely love to see that. You got the leading edge of the wing there with the light, all the other various details. And the bottom also looks quite nice there with this detail down here. And then of course you got the main landing gear, which again are magnetic, so you can see the magnet in there, and it just goes right in. You got the other various pieces there, stand hole. This bottom antenna is super cool. This stand isn't the prettiest, but it gets the job done for this aircraft. And certainly super glad to have it. So overall looking really good. Let's go ahead and include this. What an awesome unboxing, and we certainly got some quality assets right here. Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and take a look at massive unboxing number 47. So really great haul here with both the Heritage A321s for American from GeminiJets with PSA right here. And then of course you got Piedmont right here as well. Both are really nice and definitely super glad to have them in the collection. The North Central DC-9 will be an awesome addition here for the time being, and super excited to get this over the JJ's way here very soon. That's going to be absolutely awesome. This Delta Connection Sierra Edition 900 is an awesome addition. Glad to have the revamped version there, and that'll be really nice to get a nice formal aircraft going there. And then of course right here you got the Airbus A340-600, a really good looking aircraft. I think this will be quite nice, so definitely looking super forward to utilizing this aircraft here in the future. The Delta Airlines Boeing 777-200 is a beautiful plane. I think it was a quality investment, and definitely excited to see where that will go in my collection. The JetBlue Harlequin A320 is also a really good looking aircraft. I'm certainly super glad to have that one here, and it looks really nice. The Southwest Nevada 737-800 also looks beautiful. Certainly super glad to have this, and that's absolutely beautiful right there. What a great looking aircraft. And the Max 8, what a value on that, only for one slight little dink right there. It's a really good looking aircraft, and certainly super glad to have that one in the collection. What a beautiful aircraft right there. So I really hope each and every one of you enjoyed today's video. This was a super fun massive unboxing, and I'm looking super forward to the next one, as we will see where that one takes us. But nevertheless, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do what you love and love you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.